Hello, today I'll be coding this infinitely twisting strip. So we're going to start with a strip element, what else? And this is going to have a bunch of components inside. And I've actually counted these, and they are 32. So inside we're going to have a loop. So for I is going to be my loop index, and it starts from 0 and it goes all the way up to n, and we keep incrementing it. Okay, and here we have component. Now let's set some basic styles to just put something on the screen. So let's say the height is going to be 1m, the width is going to be 5 times the height. And now let's set these dimensions, so the width as well as the height, and let's set a background. This is a totally random thing. Okay, now let's make all this. Let's make them absolutely positioned. And let's put the whole strip element, let's put it in the middle, so that's top 50%, and it's going to be also left 50%, so left. Okay, now that I've done this, let's tweak the margin so that the thing is exactly in the middle. So this is going to be minus half the height and minus half the width. And the reason why I'm putting this within parentheses is that otherwise SAS is just going to do the subtraction. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's start distributing them around the circle. So that's going to be a transform, and we're going to have a rotation, and this is going to be a calc value, and we're going to have the progress around the circle times 1 full turn. Okay, now as for this progress, we're going to compute it here. Actually, I think I can just set it like this here. So we're going to have style, and we're going to set this custom property, the progress, and it's I over n. So this is the progress. Okay, actually one thing I want to do, let's make this a number. Okay, so we don't have like too many decimals. And then we're also going to apply a translation. So translate, and let's say by the width, but it's not going to stay like this. We're also going to have a calc value there. Actually 3 might be more precise, because it looks kind of awkward with just 2 decimals. Okay, that looks good. Here we're also going to have a calc value, so we're going to need to interpolate that if we're going to use a calc. So we're going to have a translation factor. So a translation factor times the height plus half the width. And this translation factor, we're going to set it here, but first we're going to need to compute it. So before that, let's compute a base angle, and this is the full circle, 2 pi over the number of components. And as for the translation factor, this one is going to be 1 over tangent of half the base angle. So again, we don't want too many decimals. So like that, and let's set that factor here, and we just set it there because we only need to set it once. And again, we interpolate it there. So that's pretty much it. That's my distribution. Now let's see about the background. We can collapse the JS part. We're going to start with an HSL value, and this one is going to be something, a random reddish hue, and we're going to have 50%, 50%, and this is my starting point, 50% in both cases. That's okay, actually. Okay, and we're going to wrap these within calc functions. Calc. Okay. And here we're going to want to have this completely desaturated at this end. So this is going to be gray, and this is going to be fully saturated here. And that looks more like a cosine. So think about it. I'm starting from 1 here, dipping down to -1 here, then coming back up to 1. So it's pretty much like the saturation goes from 100% to 100% here where it's fully saturated to 0% here where it's fully desaturated, and then back again. So I'm going to do 1 plus, and since I can't have cosine, I'm going to use a custom property, cosine, and I compute this here. So I'm going to have a current angle, and this one is going to be I times the base angle. And then I'm going to compute a cosine, and this one is going to be, what a surprise, the cosine of the current angle. And with this as well, I don't want too many decimals, so let's trim them. Okay, and I'm going to have something similar for the sine. Just put that there. Okay, so now here I'm going to have a cosine first of all, and I'm going to interpolate that. Of course. And then I'm going to interpolate the sine. And as you can see, I have it fully desaturated here, fully saturated there. And I'm going to do something similar for the sine. So sine. And as you can suspect, I'm going to do something similar here, except I'm not going to use cosine, I'm going to use sine. Okay, and this is a bit too exaggerated, so I'm going to reduce this to something like 0.5. So I only go to 25 and 75 lightness. These are going to be my limits. Okay, I think I'm done with setting stuff in the structure. So I'll leave it at that for now. And this looks nice. Like this. I'm actually going to want something like this. Okay, I'm also going to set before and after pseudo elements. Before, after, and I'm also going to set transform style, preserve 3D. Okay, and I'm going to take before and after and use them here. So before and after, and just take these styles from here, paste them here, except for the transform. No need for that. Also set content, nothing. And let's delete this stuff because we're not going to need it here. And same for this. Okay, now. Okay, this looks good. Here I'm going to multiply with a sine. And this sine value is 1. And on the after, I change the sign from 1 to -1. So after, I'm going to have sine -1. One more thing I want here is backface visibility hidden. And I also want to do something like 1 plus the sine times 90. So this is going to be a calc value, and this times 90 is going to be outside. So also a calc value there. Okay, and we're going to have a transform as well. So transform, rotate x, and we're going to have a calc value again. So I'm going to take this again and put it within the calc, and again this is going to be times a quarter of a turn. So pretty much the same thing. Actually, let's compute. Let's compute this. Let's take this out of here. So this is going to be my numerical value, and it's going to be a calc value. Put that in there and use it there, and also use it here. So it's going to be my numerical value times 1 degree, and this should do it. Okay, what's wrong? Okay, missing that. Okay, now if I rotate this, so transform or rotate x half a turn, I should see the back. Okay, and I am seeing the back, which is great. So now that I've done this, let's add an animation. So actually I'm going to set this to a position custom property. So and the transform is going to be position rotate y 0 degrees. Okay, so let's comment that for a little bit, and now we're going to set some keyframes here. Keyframes, and this is going to be my animation, and I'm going to have something like at 50%. I'm going to have, let's see, where are you? This, except it's going to be half a turn. Okay, and finally for 100%, I'm going to have 1 full turn. And now let's set this animation. Something like this, ease in out, infinite. Okay, starting to look like something. Now let's set a few styles on the body. So make it full height, set a perspective. I don't know, this is a power 2, looks nice. Perspective origin, let's do something like 50%, and then a calc so that we view stuff a bit from above. And it's going to be 50% minus, I don't know. And I need to interpolate all this stuff. Okay, And here I'm going to do a rotate X, I don't know, a bit more than half, something like that. Okay, and also let's do a translate Y before that. Let's say it's going to be a minus, something like this. Okay, let's make this a slightly smaller. Okay, that's a bit too small, bigger. Like this. Okay, now let's add a delay here. Actually, let's set the animation duration. So the animation duration is 4 seconds. Now let's collapse the stuff on the body. Let's collapse this as well. Let's collapse this as well. Here we're going to have an animation delay, and this one is going to be calc, and we're going to use k times minus actually half of the animation duration. So okay, and as you can see, I have a bit of an inconsistency there at halfway. So this means I'm going to set another custom property here. So I'm going to do something like style, and then I'm going to have root, and half is 1, and then I'm going to have nth child n plus, and here I'm going to need to interpolate half of n plus 1, and I'm going to set half to minus 1. So this means that numeric value isn't quite going to work. So my trying to be smart is kind of going to backfire, because so here I'm going to use the half times, so yeah, but the thing is, this messes up things here, so I'm going to need to multiply it. Okay, and I think it's the other way around in the original one. Okay, this is it. This is pretty much it, except I think nope, not like that. I'm actually going in the opposite direction here, like this, and here I could do something like this, and of course this is not going to be 37, this is going to be 87, something like that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's go the other way, and this is going to be -1 turn then, which again messes up things here, so I need to switch the lightness sign again. Okay, so yeah, this does it. This is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have and you want me to be able to do more stuff in the future, please consider supporting my work in one of the ways explained in the description, with a donation, by getting me something off my Amazon wishlist, or at least by sharing this to show the world what can be done on the web these days, because I think it's pretty damn cool. In any event, thanks for watching.